You get your ass handed to you every day. You get your ass handed to you every day. You get your ass handed.
It's your boy Concert Biz 34, back at it again. We got some alleged breaking news here in the music world. We're going to talk some John Mayer. We're going to talk some Dave Matthews Band, and then I will premiere a project I have for Phish and this channel in 2022. Thank you guys for joining me here. And we are looking right now at the Dead and Company Playing in the Sand's website. Playing in the Sand. It's going to be in Mexico this weekend and next weekend. They're promoting the packages for weekend number 2. But the big thing here is we have some alleged breaking news. I'm recording this. It's January 5th, 2022, 10:25 p.m. And as I record this, I'm getting reports from the Dead and Company Grateful Dead world that John Mayer allegedly, and this is just right now, it's allegedly, may have tested positive for COVID and will not be going to weekend number 1 for Dead and Company. And let's make sure we post this link to Twitter so they know that we are live. Thank you guys who have been tuning in to all my content. Thank you to the Phish fans and my regular subscribers who tuned in to my review of the Phish show from New Year's Eve. I really appreciate the support and hope to give you guys content you enjoy and can engage in. I want you guys to engage in 2022. I want people to want to call in and talk about this stuff where we have multiple callers per stream. That is the goal for 2022, to grow this channel and to grow the conversation. This channel is about the conversation. And here we go. We're going to post a link to Twitter so they know that we are live. So there's not an article that I can see right now. And let me just do another sweep of Twitter. But about 2 hours ago, I heard some chatter about, sources close to Dead and Company and close to John Mayer saying, hey, oh, wait, here we go. Never mind, forget that. It is actually on Twitter now. It looks like it just officially broke. So let me put this up here. So this is breaking news here from Dead and Company. But about 2 hours ago, I started hearing chatter, not on Twitter, not any public stuff. But so it is official. Let's actually remove this caption here. And we're going to update it. It looks like they did release this. This must have been while I was getting everything set up for the show and getting the promo stuff ready for that intro. That was Phish in the intro, Mike's song from 10/22/2016. Bear with me, folks. John Mayer tests positive for COVID. So it's still on. All right. So, yeah, thank you, Mike. I see you said it's official now. Okay. So it's on all the social media. It says today, prior to leaving for Mexico, per his physician, John Mayer tested positive for COVID-19 and will be unable to perform at upcoming Playing in the Sand event in Riviera, Cancun, January 7th through the 10th. This is the um, here it is right here. So John Mayer has tested positive for COVID. We just want to send our best out to John and the rest of the band, but especially John and his family, um, because this is a tough situation to be in. This is not something that a lot of people were expecting. Either it was going to be canceled or the whole band would be there, but it's tough. I mean, people invested $2,000 to $5,000 in some locations. Some people up to $7,000. So about, I would say, between $2,000 and $7,000 just on the packages alone, not counting the flight and other things. So we just want to send our best to John Mayer. I feel for the fans who are on their way to Mexico right now or getting ready to get down there. It is Wednesday, January 5th. Tomorrow, January 6th, people can start checking into their hotels. So they're giving people a day, Thursday through Sunday, to, these packages are running through. So, I do just want to send my best to John. And this is breaking news. As I was preparing and I didn't have time to look at this, they did just announce this. So, again, the tough thing with Mexico is people are investing a lot of money into this. So yes, people are still going to be happy. People are going to, or not still happy. People are still going to be grateful for the rest of the band, knowing Deadheads. They are a great group of people. You do have your complainers, just like any other. You have your pessimists and your optimists. But I've always been treated well by the Grateful Dead community, no matter what show I'm at. Even if I'm not at a Dead show and I'm talking to a Deadhead, they have been great people. So I know they will. It's disappointing, but I know they will make the most of this here. This is a big part of the band because John is the youngest, really the youngest member of this band. He's breathing new life to this band. Sure, the tempos are slower for they're going to be slow regardless, but John still brought a great energy to this band of mostly artists who are older than him. Um, you know, and I've seen this band. I've seen Dead and Company. I've seen Oteil with the Allman Brothers and Dead and Company, and you have the core members of the Grateful Dead that are part of this as well. And also, there will not be. Was it Bill said that he will not be the drummer Bill, percussionist Bill will not be Kurtzman will not be with the band due to health reasons. So this is the second member of this band not to come. Chippy D says, I wonder who is going to fill in for John. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. And let's see. Because I saw, and again, I just see if there's any chatter on the forums. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. There's obviously Trey Anastasio has played with the Grateful Dead fairly well. Billy Strings has played with members of the Grateful Dead and knows a lot of the Dead, but he's an acoustic guitar player. He could play electric. They could, pick the guitarist up from J-Rad. Joe Russo's Almost Dead. Tom Hamilton, I believe is his name. We'll have to see what happens with Dead and Company, but again, I think this is there's been a lot of anxiety and worry about this, but I know the Deadheads will make the most of this here. And Mike also says the way Omicron is spreading, I wouldn't be going to Mexico right now for a concert. I agree, and this is why I wouldn't go to Dave and Tim in Mexico. Because of that, I would not, even if I had the money, it wouldn't be worth it. Now, maybe if I already had the trip paid for, who knows? But as far as if I had the money today to go, I mean, I could go. I just wouldn't have my financial future set, my financial goals for the future set. I mean, I have, I could spend 5 to 7K. It just would be a bad investment for me, especially the way everything's going. Don't get me started about that with the world and retirement. But anyway, this is just again a breaking thing here. I'm sure he'll be there for next weekend. Obviously, people are going to look to, okay, what was he doing? Was he isolated? Um, should he have got there early? Like, should they have been to Mexico a week earlier? I think people are going to Monday morning quarterback that, but it's tough. I mean, John's probably doing stuff with other people in the studio, even if he's isolated. This new variant is just crazy. But I think it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing for the fans who are going. But this thing will still go on. And like I said, I would expect him to be back um, for next week. And so Dead and Company, I believe they're doing a one show on the 7th. They have the 8th off, and then they're doing the 9th and the 10th, I believe. Could be wrong. I know it's saying January 7th through 10th, but I believe they are having a day off in between there. Let's see. Again, we want to send our best. So, yeah, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what goes on with Dead and Company, but that is breaking news there. The next thing that I do want to bring up here is Dave Matthews Band and the 2022 tour rumors, right? And someone just sent me, I think it was, shout out to Mark, Mark _ 1238. Looks like there's a post in the Ants Marching forums. Dates will be out in a few weeks. Someone posted that. Says today. Oh, and okay. I don't. We'll have to see. I mean, I would guess. So next we're going to talk about Dave Matthews Band, but I'm sure the dates will be out late January, early February. Now with this, I want to explain why I don't want to see DMB into doing a lot of festivals. They don't do a lot of festivals overall, but to me, they are not a festival band. And I want to break that down because some people, listen, that's not to say that they won't impress people at a festival. That's not to say that they won't. So Mike's saying rumors January 18th is dates and new album announcement. It's a 99% chance that they're going to have a new album. But interesting that they're going to, and I wouldn't be shocked if they combine those. But when it comes to DMB, they're not an act I would want to go see at a festival. There was rumors about who was going to be headlining Bonnaroo and who's going to be headlining this other festival, that festival. Boston Calling, who's going to be for Boston Calling here up here in the Northeast where I live. But they are not, to me, they are not a festival band. And I say that, there we are. I say that because there's a couple of things. First off, when you see a band at a festival, there is a lot of planning you have to do to get a solid look at the stage. So if I'm getting a solid look at the stage, I want to make sure the act that I'm going to see is going to give me an experience that's equal or close to equal of what they're going to give me if they were just doing a show in my city as the only act of the night or with openers. I want an equivalent of that or better. Some artists are just made for festivals and it's just a better environment. But DMB that's not the case. All right. Because what you get from a festival is you get a shorter set list than you're going to get from the full band by, a couple of songs, right? to do 17, 16, 17, 18 songs instead of, 21. And they may not do a song that's as long per se, right? So they do a lot of short songs. You also are going to get them trying to appease new fans. So if you are a diehard fan, you're going to get a show that is more for the casual fan, not the diehard fan. So if you've seen Dave Matthews Band over 3 or 4 times, chances are that show's not going to be as good. And ultimately, I want to take a look at some of this, just a couple set lists that shows this. Because when you try to get out to the festival, when you pay for the parking, when you have to pay for the wristband, you have to do all this stuff that's even more complex than a regular show. And this is the show you get in California, right? Let's look at this show. For this show right here, Louisiana Bayou, So Much to Say, Anyone Sees a Bridge Too Much, Come Tomorrow, Kill the Preacher, Partial, Don't Drink the Water, What Would You Say, Do You Remember, Every Day, Sledgehammer, Jimmy Thing, Back in Black, Staying Alive, all those segues, Fly Like an Eagle was another segue, Can't Stop You and Me, Can't Stop Great Street, You and Me, Tripping Billies, Ants Marching. That's a pretty subpar set because the difference is there's nothing that really stands out about this set that is like, oh man, yeah, that's what I really need that. It's a bunch of songs that are more cookie cutter, right? A song like Come Tomorrow is horrible. A song like Louisiana Bayou is horrible, right? You get a cover in Sledgehammer. Like, they're going to entertain a casual crowd, but if you're going to these shows and investing, you're going to get more bang for your buck at an actual DMB specific tour date versus a festival. Like this show, and then by the way, you're probably not, like, depending on how much you paid, you don't have a good view of the stage. Like if you go to a DMB show and it's an amphitheater versus a GA standing room. And if you're not tall like me, and like most people, you're not going to be able to fully enjoy it like at an amphitheater, right? There's another example here. This is See Here Now, and this is what concerns me about let me zoom this in. Give me one moment, folks. Oh, there we go. This is what concerns me about the rumor that they're going to be playing Sound on Sound. It's going to be in the late summer of 2022 here in Connecticut. I don't want them to play that show, even if it means we don't get a DMB show, because I know that if it's so close to me, I'm going to go anyway, which I guess that's funny. But this is in New Jersey. It's within 2 hours of New York City and Philly, Camden area. It's not far from Homedale, New Jersey as well. A lot of great shows are played in New Jersey, South Jersey, Northern Jersey, and New York City. But this show at a festival, 17 songs, What Would You Say, Bayou, Funny the Way It Is, Come Tomorrow. Look, if you go down this set list, it's the cookie cutter songs. And what makes a Dave Matthews Band show great is 2 to 3 songs that are just more special cuts. And then it makes everything better. When you just get these cookie cutter songs, it's not worth it. It's a waste of a show. And that's where I'm against these type of things. Now, here's the thing. I will say this. There are artists that at a festival, again, are worth seeing. Like, for instance, J. Cole's rumored to be for Bonnaroo. I've seen J. Cole at a radio festival show. And I've seen him from when he was doing college gyms to when he sold out 30,000 plus people at the Meadows in Hartford. J. Cole will give you 90 to 95% of what he's going to do at his show at the festival. And you know what? He may even bring out a guest. With Dave Matthews Band, you're not going to get a guest 9 times out of 10, especially in the last couple of years at a festival. So if you're not going to get a special guest and you're only going to get, to me, like about 50 to 60% of what a DMB show gives you as far as the quality and the deep cuts, you're only getting about 50 to 60% of what you're going to get at a full band show. And Mike says, I would never travel to see them at a festival. If they played a festival within an hour of my front door, I'd go. And that's how I feel. They're going to be playing within about an hour and 15 minutes of where I live, allegedly, for the Sound on Sound Festival. I'm going to go. I just have a thing where I don't miss Connecticut shows within my control. But a festival like See Here Now, I had a chance to go to it. I didn't go, right? There's been other festivals DMB has played that are, a little closer. I like within 3 hours. I'm not going, right? Because it's a waste of a show. But there are acts like J. Cole, like a Blink 182, like a Foo Fighters, like Tool. If you go see them at a festival, they're playing the same set pretty much every night. So you're going to get most of what you would get if the Red Hot Chili Peppers came to your town. And Brett says, my only chance to see DMB this summer was Pilgrimage Fest, and I didn't go for this exact reason. And that was actually one thing I wanted to get into as well, is one of my points on this is I understand people who, like, for instance, we go back to this Del Mar, California show. DMB that year did not have any, in 2019, they did not have any Southern California shows. So I can understand for someone who lives in Southern California, DMB is kind of, they went to Irvine this year, but they haven't gone there that much. If their only chance to get a show was this festival in 19. So I understand why they may have rather had this than no show. But for us that live in parts of the Northeast and parts of the Midwest, where we have other other non-festival shows for DMB, it's a waste to have them tack on a show that's at a festival. Why not just make that show another location within the Northeast or within the Midwest, a full band show? It's just frustrating. And Brett even says this is the only show was Pilgrimage Fest, and he didn't go for that exact reason. And my friend said the same thing. Shout out to John Dix, a friend of the show. He lives in Tennessee. He could drive the Pilgrimage Fest. He knows the roads front to back, right? He knows how to get around traffic and all that. But he says, look, Pilgrimage, I guess there's only one. It's kind of tough. There's not really detours. There's like one way in and one way out. It's a road where it's hard to pass people, at least from where he's coming from and headed to. But yeah, he did not go to this show. And John, if you guys know, he went to like 15 shows this year. But he did not go to the show at Pilgrimage Fest because of that same reason, Brett. So yeah, I can understand that. It's a cookie cutter set. There's more traffic than usual because it's a festival. You could have 100,000 people a day coming in and out of a festival, or 60,000 people, and it's not. A lot of these festivals too, like in was it Franklin, Tennessee? It's not, that town is not. It's not Knoxville, Tennessee, where they have 80,000 people, or actually close to 100,000 at Neyland Stadium, right? University of Tennessee, right? It's not Nashville, where they have huge festivals, country music festivals, and other, at the Nissan Stadium, if the name hasn't changed, with the Titans play, they have all sorts of festivals and big acts come there, like the Rolling Stones. It's not one of those times. A lot of these festivals are in areas that aren't meant to hold 60,000 people, 70,000 people. Even, what is it, out there in Tennessee? Even Bonnaroo, that's not a city, right? They have experience getting people in and out. But it's frustrating when you're going to a festival in a smaller area, or an area that doesn't typically have traffic, and it's more legwork than when you go to when you go to a show at SPAC, when you go to a show in Hartford at the Meadows, they're used to these traffic flows. Even if you have to wait in traffic, there's more organization. festivals can be hit or miss as far as those processes to get in, get out. But I can understand why somebody who doesn't have a show outside of this show in Southern California for 2019, that hey, I'm happy for that. But for us, for many of people like me, um, right? We want to have that actual standalone show. Like instead of having this show here, won't they have a show at the Staples Center or the Greek Theater or somewhere out there in California that's an actual venue, even if it is up in Northern California. People in LA, it's a quick drive. It's not a bad drive, or you can do a flight, right? So having it in California somewhere else would have been a better alternative there. And Mike says, I'm hoping to hit Alpine this year. Let me know. So here's the thing. Alpine is allegedly going to be July 1st and 2nd. I haven't heard anything disputing that. The weekend after that will be SPAC, July 8th and 9th in 2022. So I'm going to be I have a hotel already booked for Alpine. I've already looked at flights and things like that. I'm not going to buy a flight right now. It's not a problem because Chicago is a hub. Milwaukee is easy to get to. I'll figure that out. So yeah, Alpine is the one that I think people are excited about, and I'll figure out a way to get a ticket. I'm gonna put in the lottery. Connor says I need the Dave Matthews Band to return to Alpine in 2022, and I think Connor, you've seen. If you haven't, I feel like you've seen some of the stuff or seen my previous videos, but yeah, it's pretty much, to me, it's pretty much close to a lock that DMB is going to be at Alpine again, July 1st, July 2nd, 2022. Be on the lookout for that. But going back to the festival thing, I really think that it's just not a good. It's a waste of a show for DMB. There's bands that do festivals and they give you 90% of what you're going to get, 95%. DMB doesn't do that for me as a diehard fan of this band. Even people who are in the middle, they're not casual, but they're not die hard like me and you guys up on the chat. It's just, to me, you're not going to get the full experience. Even if it is a so-so full band show that's not a festival, it's different. And again, you're going to get cut off. You're not going to get an encore most times. And you're up against the clock. If somebody is late, if someone gets on the stage late before DMB, then DMB may have less time to perform. Rain may cut that night off, right? And you have, let's say you bought a 2-day pass because it was just, you wanted to secure, that was the only way to really secure everything, to buy 2 days in advance. And then they rain out DMB's week. So you get a refund for that, but then you're stuck with another day, depending on the festival. And yeah, it's just, to me, I don't want them playing festival dates. Obviously, they're going to add in a couple this year. It's just, that's what happens, right? But I don't think DMB is meant to be played at festivals now. Now, I think when we look back at their history in the 90s, they were a great festival band because they were up on the rise. I think the festival set you get from a Woodstock 99 is amazing. Just the way it sounded, the quality, there were a lot less songs that were skippable. And even when they played some of the cookie cutter songs, they were just better. But now you get these cookie cutter songs, you get a couple covers. If you've been to a couple of DMB shows, you're not going to really get much of a new feeling from that. And Mike says if they're releasing an album, I think they'll play a festival for sure. Yeah, they haven't really. If we look at 2018, they're gonna play festivals regardless. They haven't really, when there's been an album release year, they haven't overdone it. It's about the same. If we look at even what they do is they go on TV. What's up, Luke? Thanks for tuning in, Luke. But yeah, they don't really do much. What they do is, if you look here, if we zoom in, you got the Jimmy Kimmel outdoor concert, the Ellen DeGeneres. They hit up TV more than festivals. Although you can make an argument that a festival is a better promotional tool than TV nowadays, with people cutting the cord. But they do more of this Ellen DeGeneres, Jimmy Kimmel, late night with whoever is the NBC host at the time, right? They did a Spotify event. Now Dave did this corporate event. He does that every now and then. Um, but yeah, they did. They had they had Blues Fest in Quebec Summer Fest. But I mean, those were the two that we have there. And Dave did a Tiny Desk. Oh, they did Jimmy Fallon right here. Okay. But they did a couple festivals. I don't Summerfest is just a DMB show. For those of you who don't know, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, they have a venue and they just have a bunch of artists come really. Matt says, imagine Boston Calling replacing Manchester. I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed if Boston Calling replaced Manchester. Whereas there's rumors that the Strokes may actually be a headliner for Boston because they canceled Boston Calling because they're not an opener for the Red Hot Chili Peppers show in Boston. So there's a rumor they may be. But yeah, Boston Calling would be, oh man, no. I do not want to go imagine the traffic for that at the Harvard sports complex. Oh man. Oh, there's no way to take the T there. That's convenient for me coming from the west going east. Yeah, that'd be a disaster. And Luke says I hate DMV festivals. All right. Yeah, I mean they did a couple festivals for 2018, but that's really it. I mean they did Quebec and Ottawa. By the way, people in the chatter on the forums, oh, people are they going to do Toronto or Vancouver or Ottawa? And shout out to Mike. Mike is in Alberta, the province of Alberta, Canada, and I don't know. I still think the challenge with doing Canada, it's going to be easier than Europe. There's no Europe. There's no way they're doing Europe right now, or they're not going to announce it in the next couple of weeks. But if like with Canada, the problem with Canada is we're seeing that with this latest variant, and this is whether you agree or disagree, they shut down stuff 3 times faster than America when it comes to sporting events. And I'm talking about they're still going to have the sporting event, but they're going to have no fans. And you can say what you want. You can say you agree with it, you can disagree. But for DMB, who had to cancel other shows this past year and couldn't do Canadian shows when they rescheduled everything, it's a risk to put a Toronto date or a Vancouver date or an Ottawa date or Quebec City, because we saw that again, there were hockey venues full, 100% capacity in America during the holiday break. If the game could be played, or no, before the holiday break, right before the holiday break, just after Thanksgiving. And then you have, in Montreal, they have no fans. Toronto has a certain percentage of fans and no fans. I think that's what they ended up doing. Mike says most American bands and artists have booked Canadian dates this year. So I think DMB will have at least a Toronto date. Yeah. The thing is, though, DMB really just does one date. And a lot of those acts did this before the variant came out. You may be right? But I think that with what happened between Thanksgiving and Christmas, the way Canada just shut down and there was rumors they were going to have lockdowns, that is scary for a promoter to say, okay, we're going to book. Now that we know what Canada can do, even after vaccinations, it may be. But yeah, they could do Toronto. They definitely could swing that because it's right at the border. So they get there for a day, they do the show, and they're back in the States the next day. actually the same night they could actually go to the border customs if they really are ambitious. I don't know what they do. Connor says this may be a stretch, but I want DMB to hit Ascend Amphitheater. So Dave and Tim did Ascend Amphitheater back in 17. I doubt they are. There was some rumors swirling that they were gonna that DMB may do Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. But right, Ascend, yeah, in Nashville. He says in Nashville. There were rumors that they were going to do Bridgestone for this 2022 tour. We'll see what happens. They did do Bridgestone a couple years ago. The infamous Tiger Bunny poster. We'll see. I think, yeah, it's the tough thing about that is given the market of Nashville, Dave and Tim do Ascend, but they're going to want to make more profits at Bridgestone to do that multi-purpose arena that has a much larger capacity. They would rather do that than because you have what Bridgestone. Go to the wiki. What is it? Close to 12. What's the concert? So Bridgestone. 20,000 for center stage, in stage 18K. Okay. So Bridgestone is 18K. Yeah. Oh, 6,000. Yeah. Yeah. So 4,500 seats. Yeah. They're not going to, yeah, it's a stretch, but hey, you never know. Maybe Dave will do some sort of private event or fest, like some sort of fundraiser event there. Who knows? Um, Luke says Ohio is bad right now when it comes to COVID. Everyone here is getting. Oh yeah, definitely. Even here in Connecticut, and that's the thing. Is like there's two. It is crazy with this new variant. There's mild symptoms, but it is spreading. Um, it definitely is spreading. People that are willing to disclose that they've tested positive for COVID, and I respect people's privacy, or that they have someone in their household. I've heard more and more chatter from family, friends, and coworkers about that. Connor says I had no idea it was that small. Bridgestone Arena is it says Bridgestone Arena it is, yeah. Yeah, they built it small. I wonder why they didn't build it bigger. Maybe Bridgestone Arena had some pull because an outdoor amphitheater, I think they're making one. I think there is a new Tennessee amphitheater. I think there. Why do I feel like my friend John was showing me new Tennessee amphitheater? There's one that's being built. Oh, first is it First Bank? Oh, in Knoxville. All right, Frank. Let's see. Yeah, 7,500 seats. It's in Franklin, Tennessee. Because my friend was showing me that it looked really cool, the renderings of it. But it's still that still may be too small for DMB. Right, and Luke says the COVID positives are only a fraction of the actual cases. Oh yeah, yeah, because people can't even get testing. It's hard to get tested. You know, when I left MSG, I got tested. I wasn't feeling well. Leaving MSG, and I isolated myself, and I got a test within a couple of days. But it was still like tough to get them. And then all of a sudden, what happened? Oh, I had to help someone get a test closer to Christmas, and it was like a week out, and now it's just like you have to go through a drive-through. or book 2+ weeks out at a CVS or Walgreens. Connor says Humphreys McGee would rock a center. Oh, definitely. Definitely. That'd be cool if they actually played there, right? That's a perfect size for them. And Luke says he can't get a test anywhere or at any store here in Cleveland. I don't know how it is. Okay, yeah. So you're out in Cuyahoga County, right, in the Cleveland area, I'm guessing. And yeah, it's tough. It's hard. And a lot of people for Dave and Tim in Mexico got tests when the variant first came out. People were getting their tests for February. So they bought a couple at-home tests for February or scheduled well in advance. So they were trying to find places that could give quick turnaround times and book something in advance, because that's how serious it is. Because if you can't show proof of a negative test, then 48 hours, you can't get to Mexico. So that's $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 on the line. People are really trying to make sure they can get a test. Those time constraints. So that is that's where we're at. I'll be back on Saturday, barring anything crazy. So we'll talk more about the tour. We'll give some more things. I do want to get into to Phish, and I have a new intro that I want to show and premiere to you guys. So what I'm going to be doing in 2022, I'm going to be working on content, hoping to get every weekend, maybe bi-weekly, but I'm going to have Phish videos. So there'll be pre-recorded videos of me exploring the world of Phish. I had a wonderful time watching them on New Year's Eve. And they are a band that I tried to get into many times, but here we are, 2021. I finally got it. And in 2022, I'm going to be getting more into it. I have spent the last decade. May 25th, 2022 will be the 10-year anniversary of me going to my first Dave Matthews Band concert. I had been a fan again since the mid-2000s, but I turned into a concert junkie for DMB. I had been a fan of other acts, been in other concerts from 2008 to 2012. But my first DMB show blew me away. I've spent the last decade diving into DMB. The streams, the post-show streams, I'm still going to aim to get as many as possible. The talk like this with DMB will not change, but I want to add in Phish and tag you guys along on my journey, whether you guys are already Phish fans, whether you may not be a Phish fan like Luke, and that's fine, right? It was, like I said, it was tough. It took a couple tries for me to fully get it. And the trade-off is they are a jam band. You're not going to get the melodies and the songwriting of a band like DMB because it's a jam band, right? They don't have the song, they don't have the pen that Dave Matthews has, and the rest of the band, because many of them have song credits on a lot of the big songs. So do some of the producers, especially Everyday. The producer for Everyday did a lot of help with them writing as well. So here we go. Let me premiere. Hello, Bruno. Thanks for coming on. I'm going to premiere this little promo. So here, let me get it set up. I'm going to get this promo set up. Oh, here we go. So I'm going to present to you, premiering for the first time. You're getting the world premiere. The world premiere of
Cash Money.
Phish Noob. So let me roll the tape.
Okay. Boy.
During that trip down to Virginia, it's about an 8-hour drive, I believe, from where I live down to Virginia Beach. I was listening to Phish radio there and back, and it just clicked. to be today. It's been rescheduled. Thing about Phish compared to the other jam bands that I've heard, other jam bands I've seen in person, the majority of this show, the jams kept me engaged. And again, I can't say that about other jam bands. It's hard. You only can reinvent the wheel so many times. You only can play the Mixolydian scale on an electric guitar so many different ways. And here's what I've noticed so far. I love the transitions that Phish has in songs. One of my favorite things about progressive rock is the transitions. I love how Phish is able to seamlessly transition back and forth, up and down, left and right, into various styles of music in the same song. Yes, that's what a jam band does. Yes, of course. But Phish does it to a level that I just haven't seen done and executed so well. And there's certain things that were better than others in this, and it's a lot to take in. It's overwhelming to dive into a band like this. Even though I've dived into the Grateful Dead's music, about 5, 6 years ago, I've dived into the Allman Brothers, but this is very, very overwhelming. I will say the MoMA Dance, that's again one of those songs I've been playing. I was like, okay, I know. So there you have it. That is the promo. That's going to be an intro to the videos that we have for that new series, Phish Noob. Again, coming to you guys next week. We're going to get it started next week. 2022 will be the year that I hopefully go to my first Phish show. I have plans to go to Madison Square Garden. The specific show is still to be determined, also depending on COVID and what goes on there. But I want to go to Phish at MSG. The bar is going to be set high for my first Phish show. Going to the world's most famous arena, a arena they have played very frequently. It is almost the Gorge for Phish, right? Phish plays at the Gorge too. But MSG, they have a rich history of New Year's Eve shows and Baker's Dozen runs there outside of the holidays. So that's what I'll be doing, is getting into Phish. But again, the DMB content won't really change. It's just I'm adding on Phish. I will also in 2022, again, pending what happens, I'll be doing some reviews for Humphreys McGee. Going to a show again, everything willing. Tim Reynolds, TR3, he's going to come into Hartford, Connecticut. And also John Mayer, February 2022. You'll be seeing some John Mayer content as we get closer to that, as that is another act. Even before DMB, I'd already seen John Mayer live a couple of times for my first DMB show. So I love Mayer just as much as I love DMB. I love Humphreys. And also Tim Reynolds to be doing some stuff here in my area. A bunch of different shows here. 3 Connecticut shows. It's a blessing. He's going to Southern Connecticut, and then he's going to Western Connecticut and Central Connecticut. upon going to also Boston and I believe the New York City tri-state area. So be on the lookout. Let's pull that up there if you want to. If you are itching for DMB but want to get a little bit of a different TR3, want to get a slightly different experience. Let's see. TR3. See Tim Reynolds. It's his trio. And here we'll pull these up here. So this is. There you go. This is some of the touring. For Tim Reynolds. Tim Reynolds will be starting off in Charlotte on the 14th, Richmond on the 15th, and then he comes to Connecticut, Fairfield, Connecticut. That's Southern Connecticut by New York City, 19th. And then you can look at those dates: New York City, Ardmore, PA, and I think that's outside of Philly, I believe. Hudson Falls, New York, that's upstate. Rochester, upstate. He's going to be coming by you, Luke. Cuyahoga County, he'll be in Cleveland. Then he'll be closer to the Kentucky border in Cincy. Then he's going to be in Bloomington, Illinois, and Evanston. Pauling, New York. Pauling is out just at the border. I think it's around Westchester County, so just at the Connecticut border. Then Norfolk, that's Western Connecticut, Boston. Fall River is the armpit of Massachusetts. Do not go to Fall River. I'm serious. Don't go. Although that may be the date, Matt, that may be the closer location to you if you're out in Rhode Island. But don't go to Fall River. Go to Boston. Do not go to Boston. Bruno's from Massachusetts. He knows what's up. Don't go to Fall River, right? If you're still on, Bruno. And then finally, Hartford, and then he's going to be going to Mexico shortly after that. And again, these are, as we know, these shows are still on as of January 5th, 2022. Just stay tuned, given everything that's going on in the world, for cancellations, postponements, things like that. But yeah, what a time to be alive. We have a lot of great things. But thank you guys for the support. Please hit the like button. Please comment. Please subscribe if you haven't. Tell your friends. I appreciate many of you guys spreading some of my content on Twitter, on Instagram. I really appreciate it. Thank you for those who don't even comment, but just watch. I know some people just watch, and I've met a lot of you in 2021 who just say, yeah, man, I don't comment, but I like the stuff, and I really appreciate that. But again, some new things to be added, some of the same old, and hopefully in a couple of weeks from now, a week or two from now, I'm talking to you about tour dates, as it looks like the rumor is that Mike said is that it's January 18th. What a show. We started off, I thought I had some rumors, but then it became official for John Mayer. We looked at DMB and the why I don't like festivals, and then we talked about Phish and some of the plans for this channel in 2022. Also, if you want to support Cash App ConcertViz34, that money will go towards equipment for the recordings, equipment for the live shows. I mean, the shows I record, content from Cash App ConcertViz34. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, ConcertViz34 to get updates. Twitter, I always post when I'm going live on there. But thank you guys for watching. We are going to get you guys off with trying to see if we can all right, here we go. We're going to play Situation from the Batson Sessions to close everything out. And again, check out those Tim Reynolds tour dates. Support him. Support the small. Support Tim, and the support your local venues too. A lot of these venues are venues that have been through a lot since COVID. So going to buy a ticket here, buying a drink or two, buying food responsibly, right? But buying food and things are going to help these small venues. I can say personally for Infinity Hall in Hartford, Infinity Hall in Norfolk, these are great venues where you can see an intimate show, and they have served Hartford and Litchfield counties, respectively. Norfolk is in Litchfield County, Hartford's obviously in Hartford County. They have served us with some great music, a lot of one-offs from people, a member of a band, a bassist or a saxophone player, or a lead singer doing a solo show. I've seen Citizen Cope at Infinity Hall, up close and personal row too. Really dope experience and very intimate experience. So that's all I got for today. But again, we're going to close out here. Situation, Dave Matthews Band from the Batson Sessions.
Talk to him. Bad boy. Talk to him.
Feeling good, crack you like it started. Holla, holla. You turn inside my breathe. I slow down on it. You got a situation. I'm a filthy man. I'm feeling your vibrations. You know we're all the same. We're all creatures. The flower don't breathe again. The flower in your hands smell like it. Rain always breathe. You got a situation. Yes, I'm a filthy man. And some kind of vibration.